Hey guys, I'm Julie from Revenue River, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to send the account invitation URL that's in Shopify over to HubSpot automatically. So in order to accomplish this, you are of course going to need a Shopify account that is live, as well as a HubSpot account. That's going to be the system that we're pushing this over to today, and make sure that those are integrated. There is a great native integration that HubSpot offers for Shopify, and that's what we're going to be using today. You're also going to need a Zapier account. That's going to be the automation tool that we're using to collect, generate, and push this value over to the CRM with. So if you have all of those, let's go ahead and get started. So step one is just to create that customer account within Shopify. You're going to want to do that in the back end, not in the front end, obviously, where the customers would create it. This is a solution for any manual uploads or imports of customers, or any others that you do through integrations. We can talk about that in a later segment. So this is what it's going to look like. I created this earlier today. As you can see here, it's got that send account invite link there. That's going to send the email from Shopify. But what we're doing is we are taking that email URL that actually sends to the customer their specific page where they activate their account whenever it's created manually in the back end. We're going to be sending that URL to HubSpot, so you can do the same thing through automation and other workflows to invite customers to your store and create those customer accounts. So once that is set up and you have a test account to build this Zap around, you also want to make sure that you have the property within your HubSpot account created to where you're going to send that invite URL to once it's generated. So this is in my HubSpot. You're just going to go to this little gear icon up here that you can't see because it's covered. Come down to properties, which is going to show up here, and then create a new property. Make sure that your object type is contact. Group, I just put mine under Shopify. I recommend that. That's where I keep all of my other Shopify properties. And the label I'm just going to say is the Shopify customer account invite URL. Description, you can put whatever you want there. Then click next. Select field type. I'm just going to do single line of text. Remember, this is just a URL that we're going to be sending over, so it doesn't need to be anything specific. This is not going to be showing in forms. Once that's created, just click save. And then once all that is done, you are able to hop into your Zapier account and start creating your Zap. So this is the Zap I just started. Let's go ahead and name it Shopify invite URL to HubSpot contact. Make sure that your app that you're choosing obviously is Shopify, and the trigger that we're going to do is new customer. So when a new customer is created in Shopify, this Zap is going to fire. So let's just continue. You're going to want to add your Shopify account. Ours is already built in here. You can just follow the steps in Zapier to connect account if you don't already have one connected within your Zapier. Then click continue, find data, test. All right, so when you get that little check mark, that means you're good, everything is connected. And then once that is done, I'm just going to come in here and create a delay. The reason I'm doing this is I don't want there to be an overlap before the information is already put into HubSpot. So what happens with the integration is when you create a new Shopify customer, that creates a new contact in HubSpot, and that's what we're going to be going off of for the conditions. So I'm just going to create a short little delay here, and I'm just going to say 2 minutes. Just be mindful that whenever you are building other workflows around this, that you take into account that there is going to be a delay here. All right, test and continue. Perfect. So we've got the green check marks there for both of them. So we're good to go there, and we can move on to the next step. So after you create the delay, you're going to add another step in here, and this is going to be where you find the contact record that was just created or updated following the creation of the new customer in Shopify. So add that task in for HubSpot. Action or event is going to be find contact, and we're going to continue. I've already selected our HubSpot, and then search query. So this is going to be where you select what values to look for. I always use email. It's the most standard. I'm just going to select the email from Shopify. So this is going to be the email from the customer that was just created in Shopify. So click continue, test. Perfect. Good to go there. So after you've found the contact in HubSpot that was just created or updated from your Shopify account, you're going to add in a path as the next step. So click add, you're going to see paths here. And this is where we're going to use the tool to determine whether or not the customer account in Shopify is disabled. And disabled is just the account state in Shopify for when you create the account on the back end manually. And the customer hasn't actually finalized that setup of their account. So you're going to get two paths here automatically. You only need one. Then open it up here and edit. I'm going to change the path name to Shopify account disabled, and then continue. Remember, we're going to create that rule here. So account state is the name of the value that's pushed over, and we'll see our properties IP Shopify account state disabled. So I'm just going to put text contains and then disabled. Perfect. So my path would have continued. That's just because the account that I selected was the one that we tested out. So that was this account. And click done. And there you go. So that way, when they come here, the only ones that are going to continue through this Zap are those that are already a disabled account, meaning those are the only ones that we can actually generate an invite URL off of. Once the path is created to filter out all enabled Shopify accounts, meaning only the disabled ones that were created manually and haven't been finalized, will be continuing down this. We are going to start building out the webhook to create the account invitation URL. But before we can do that, we need to get the credentials for the API that is going to help us generate that. So in order to do so, hop back into your Shopify account and you're going to click apps. Once you come to the apps page, these are going to be where all your apps are. And to create a new API key and password, you're going to click manage private apps. And then once you open that up, you're going to see a create or manage up here at the top right somewhere, just like this. And click that and I'll show you how to create the conditions for that API key. So when you click the manage private apps and then create a new app, you're going to come up with this page. I've already created this one, so this information is already populated. But what you are going to enter is the app name as well as the emergency developer email. So if anything breaks with this, you're going to get a notification or anything else updates through this email. You're also going to want to, when you create this, apply the admin API permissions. What you're going to need for this one specifically is customer details, customer groups as read and write, theme templates, theme assets as read and write, and translations admin API as read and write. So once you create that, just click save at the bottom. And then this information is going to populate here, and that's what you're going to use to update the URL for that post webhook. So this part is a little tricky. I'm going to make it as simple as possible, I hope. To generate this URL, there is a structure that you can find in the description of this video. And also, if you come to the link that I'm also going to include, which is a step-by-step guide on how to set it up, following this right here, if you come down to step, let's see, 13, I've included the URL here as well. So we're just going to copy that structure over to this post webhook URL page. I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. So in the beginning of this URL, you see we have API key, :password at hostname. So the convenient thing about that is all of this can go away and you can replace that with what you've built here. So the example URL and the Shopify API that you already created, it's all right here. So if you copy that all the way through to .myshopify.com, we can copy that in, and it should look like that. The last part we need to populate is this customer ID, and that we're going to use with the dynamic value here. So if you highlight that, come to new customer in Shopify, we need to find customer ID right there. And that is what your URL should look like once you've added in all your API information and adjusted that. So after you've created this URL, we need to update the customized post settings, change the payload type to raw, wrap request and array we can keep at no, unflatten we can keep it yes. So then just continue. Perfect. As you can see here, it's updated that customer ID with the actual customer ID, and everything looks good here. So test and continue. Perfect. So if we pop that open, that is your URL, and that's been populated in your new account. So if you click done, so once you finalized the post webhook, you need to update that contact record in HubSpot with the URL that you just generated here. So create another step. You're going to do that with HubSpot, and the choose action or event should be update contact. So it says create or update contact. Click continue. Again, we're going to be using the same HubSpot account that you did before. And contact email, select that email from your new customer in Shopify, should be the same one. And then you need to find the account URL right here. And that we're going to populate from the Shopify account disabled post action. There you go. So what this is doing is it's finding that contact and populating that with the URL. So this contact in HubSpot, we are going to populate with that URL we just created in the post webhook. So keep scrolling down. We've got a ton of contact properties all the way to the bottom. Keep going and continue. Test and continue. Great, so we've got all the check marks here. So what happened essentially is this webhook created, generated, pulled that URL, and this action populated that URL into the appropriate contact property that we created at the beginning of this video to update that contact with the URL in HubSpot. So now, once we're done editing, this can all be turned on. You can just click this turn on here. And this will run in the background of your processes as long as it continues to be on, as long as these properties and automation continue to be valid. You'll get notifications if they are not. And that's basically how it's done. So once you've completed testing, it does actually update the contact record that you were using to test. So I just hopped into the HubSpot to check that out. And I'm going to click the View All Properties here. I'm going to find that URL. Here it is. I'm going to add this to my view so you can see it. So this is the URL that's populated from your webhook and Zapier automation. You can use this value as a link in emails and text messages, any sort of campaigns, nurture workflows, things like that, that you need to invite and engage customers with your Shopify store. If you're generating those off of workflows in the background as well, this is a great way to do that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any other questions, suggestions of other videos, how-tos that you would like us to walk you through, please leave a note in the comments or reach out to us. There's a contact link as well as a link to this blog with the step-by-step information in it for you guys to review and to accomplish this. You can use this application in a number of different ways. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and that's all.